guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Mowers. Welcome to another episode. So we just got through our foot-high snowstorm.
The day of the storm, first
Time. It's nobody's. Cars again. 15 minutes.
I did mine like two.
that with an electric snowblower.
And the meteorologists are saying there's a possibility we might get a bomb cyclone nor'easter if everything goes right, off the coast. So it's too early to tell, but we might get another storm this weekend. That would be the 5th. But right now it's only 4. As you guys know from the recent episode, I only used my Craftsman 357cc 30-inch snowblower, and it did great. I went out 4 times, separate times, of 15 to 20 minutes each, and I was cleared in no time. I mean, such a big difference between that snowblower and the 4 or 5 little ones that I had in episodes 1 and 2 of the snowstorms, where I used 3 electric snowblowers. Fortunately, I sold out of all of those. So I only have my Aaron's, the 30-inch, and this one here is a neighbor's that I have to replace a carburetor for. Stay tuned for that episode. So as you guys know, when I took this out of the shed this year to try it, I haven't tried it yet, but we did start it up and give it a once over. It surged, which really bothers me. Also, I noticed that the carburetor in here is the Tecumseh kind of carburetor that has the 90-degree angle fuel input nozzle. Well, usually, in my experience, those only belong on 5 horsepower Tecumseh engines. The ones that are 8 horsepower and higher, such as this one, which is 11 horsepower Snow King engine from Tecumseh, the fuel input nozzle should be straight out. So I wonder why, and I've known that since I started doing small engine. So I don't know why I put a 5 horsepower carburetor on here. That would contribute to the surging, because 5 horsepower carburetors are only drilled for the enough gas input enough for a 5 horsepower engine, not an 8. I'm going to start this up right now and show you what the surging sounds like. So if you have full throttle, it's going to surge slightly like that. If you lower the throttle to 75%, it doesn't surge, which means the amount of fuel that you expect from this at full throttle is not going through the holes and mixing with the air in a proper ratio, therefore it surges. But if you lower the throttle and only do 75% fuel going through the hole of the jets, it's enough to compensate with the ratio of the air. I know, it sounds very scientific, but that's how it goes. But I remember that this thing ran like a champ years ago when I first had it, with the 5 horsepower carburetor on it. And then a lot of commenters from that episode told me, no, Henry, that's the right carburetor. Even though it's a 5 horsepower carburetor, it still is for this machine. It doesn't really make any sense, though, because it's always been an 8 horsepower type carburetor. Well, I don't have any of those, so I'm just going to attempt to take the heat cover off. I thought it was going to be a pain in the ass, but I was watching my old video and it didn't look that tough at all. And just check out the bowl again, maybe clear out the pilot jet, and maybe that'll work. If not, I'm going to have to contact my friends over at HIPA for a new carburetor. An 8 horsepower or higher kind with the straight nozzle. Let's take that off and we'll see more.
I had initially thought that I had to remove this entire front panel and the gas tank, but it looks like there's a slight break right here, meaning that it's only this panel that comes off, which makes sense. So it's only like that bolt and these 2 bolts. Then you have to remove the knob, the key. Maybe it'll just come off. I think I might have to remove that too.
Battery is dead. Got to use a screwdriver for this because I have broken these knobs because it's so cold and brittle. Got to use a screwdriver so it's even pulling. Comes right off. This can stay on here. Well, it's easier than I thought.
As you can see, this carburetor is old looking. Kind of dirty looking too. Look at the rust. Of course, you could always adjust with these linkages here. Like that tension spring there, it loses tension over the years. You could try to stick it in another hole.
That's what she said.
Looking at the bottom of it, as you can tell, it's not the kind with the fuel adjustment screw on it. That is the spring-loaded drain button, where you can push it and fuel comes out, and it looks like it's on its way out because it's kind of dripping. There's the primer bulb line. I'm going to take that bowl down and see what's inside.
It's easier to put this on its service position. I want to change that bowl anyway because it's leaking. Looking at the way this is designed, look, the fuel line goes through the engine from the gas tank, so it's gravity fed, right? And it's going to go this way, and then it has to go up, which means that you have to have enough fuel pressure by the amount of fuel you have in the gas tank. A full tank is obviously the most fuel pressure, to push the fuel up this side to go into the 90-degree thing. Whereas if it was just the straight nozzle coming out, it would have to still go pretty high. But what if you routed this a little bit higher above here and it goes straight down? I don't know. It seems to work okay, but not too happy with the way this is. All right, let me remove this bowl and see if we have any debris in there. A little bit of debris could cause surging as well. 1/2-inch nut. It looks pretty clean. We'll check that in a minute. Just take the bowl off. Gasket looks good. So very little debris, but there is some. And this bowl looks pretty clean. Even the condition of it on the bottom, no rust or pitting. Just some debris from the gasket. Clean up the contact point here where the gasket used to be. It's just remnants of some old gasket. Clean that up so it has a good seal. Making sure that this jet nut is clear. Of course, it was running fine pretty much, so you know it's clear. But the important part is that diagonal little one that you can barely see right there. Gonna make sure that's clear. I'm getting some resistance. There we go. I'll blow it out with some carb spray. Even a little bit may cause surging, for it to run rough.
the Tecumseh carburetors do not have a removable main jet. I mean, you could, but you'd have to take apart the whole carburetor to do it. You can't just like screw it. Yep, just to confirm, does not have it. So I'm just going to blow up the emulsion. On the other side of the carburetor, there's a pilot jet area. To remove this plastic stopper over here and screw it out. Hard to get to. There it is right there. It's hard to get out. That hole needs to be cleared up, and most importantly, this hole. That hole is so small, you need one of these things. This is how you stop the surging. Clean the pilot jet. It doesn't seem like, okay, it's going through. See? Now blow into the pilot jet area to clean that out. Put the pilot jet back in again. I lost the gasket. I have an extra. I got a better red one. The red ones are better because they're like poly something. All right, let's put it back down and try it. Clean the pilot jet, clean the main jet, clean the bowl. Let's see how it runs now. Make sure it doesn't leak now that it's upright. Okay, let's try it. I just checked it. There are no leaks, which is great. That's full run. Much better. Let it run a little bit. See, it fixed the surging. It's not surging anymore. So it's full throttle on full run. Good. Put everything back.
Always the pilot jet, fellas. I'd call that fixed. So we got the old girl working great. It was just the pilot jet on the carburetor. I'm still a little confused about the 5 horsepower carburetor on a 11 horsepower machine. I always thought you needed the 8 horsepower or over carburetor that had the straight nozzle that comes out, not the 90-degree one. But whatever, don't fix it if it ain't broke, right? Runs great. So we'll just keep it on here. Stay tuned for the carburetor replacement on that one, because that carburetor is so old that it has a needle seat problem. Whenever you tilt it downwards, it leaks gas, and also when you do that, it bogs down. So we're going to try to change that carburetor with a brand new one. I had an offer for $1,000 for this. I said no. I might regret that someday, but it's still a beautiful machine and I love it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe so I can continue to make snowblower videos for you, just like this one. Have a great day. Until the next storm, we'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Are you ready for the apocalypse? I know, so dramatic, right?
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers!